welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Shireen. I'm the founder of Ivy Wild. We're a non-toxic hair care products company which caters to textured hair types, and we also specialize in textured hair education. In this video, I'm going to be speaking to you about the core 3 reasons why your hair is dry and what you can do to overcome dryness. This is a question I get so frequently, and it's the most difficult question to answer, especially when you're at an event and people come up to you and ask you questions about, oh, my hair's dry, what can you recommend? What product could you recommend? It's not as simple as just recommending a product. This is the same situation when people send me DM messages to ask me about their hair and what they can do to stop it from being dry. It's a lot deeper than just suggesting a product to you, and I want to make sure that in this video I'm going to give you the exact reasons as to why your hair is dry and what you can do to overcome that dryness. This video is going to be the video for you, so make sure you watch to the end so you can find out what it is that's causing your dryness and what you can do to overcome that dryness as well. I'm going to be introducing something completely new to you. It's something called the raw method, and the raw method is going to stop you from having dry hair. So let's get into the video. Before I proceed to give you what you need, please hit that subscribe button, please hit like so more people can see this video. The more people we're able to reach, the more people we're able to help. So please share with someone that you know who's suffering with their dryness so that I can help them as well. Firstly, I want to say, if you do have issues with dryness, I'm always more than welcome to help people. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, our Instagram handle is @IvyWildHair. You can just hit the follow, slide in my DMs and send me any queries that you've got. If it's your hair, if your son's or daughter's hair, family members' hair, anything, I'm more than happy to help people come up with their own routine that's nourishing to them and that's helpful to them. That being said, let's get into the video. The R stands for routine, and I'm going to explain what that means and how you can implement routine into your life for your hair. So before we begin, the first thing I want to speak about is the raw method. So I'm going to be working through RULE, and this is called the raw method. This is something I've made up, I've created, so I don't want to see anyone else trying to co-sign like they made it up. I'm only joking. So the raw method stands for routine, understanding, love and education. Raw. This is a new rule. We're making new rules for our hair, and this is going to be a reset so that you guys can get the moisturized hair that you really want. So R, what does R stand for? R stands for routine. The reason why your routine is so critically important is because the routine that you have for moisturizing your hair and keeping moisture locked in is going to be what helps you to fight dryness consistently. So the routine part of what you're doing to your hair on a daily basis is really going to make sure that you actually stop a lot of breakage from your hair, you stop the dryness, and you're actually keeping moisture locked into the hair strands. Routine. When's the best time for you to wash your hair? Do you have a set day that you wash your hair on a weekly basis? It should be once a week, to be honest. You should be washing your hair once a week. Even if you've got braids in, you can still wash the roots of your hair. And it's really important that you're washing your scalp, so you're keeping your scalp clean and clear of buildup. Really important to make sure that the routine that you have, you're starting as you mean to go along. So a structured routine of, okay, Sunday is my day, I'm going to wash my hair. It's going to take me an hour to 2 hours to wash it, and make sure I'm consistent with a moisture routine. So that's the first thing I want to speak about. And do you moisturize your hair during the day as well? So say you've washed your hair on a Sunday, that's great. You know that you've got moisture locked in, you've done your twist out, your blowout if you're blowing out your hair, you've done that structure for your Sunday, that's great. How frequently thereafter do you add moisture into your routine? Like, will you moisturize on a Tuesday or a Thursday? Do you add moisture in? Like with me having braids, I have to make sure that if I've washed my hair on a Sunday, I'm actually spraying moisture into my hair. I haven't got the spray here now, but I'm actually spraying moisture back into my scalp and the hair strands on top of the braids. Like, the maintenance part is really important in the routine that you actually have for yourself and for your hair. Speaking of braids, do you actually have protective styles? And if you are exercising protective styles, are you leaving them in too long? Because this is another reason why we can get a lot of dryness. People who have weaves need to understand that they are potential protective styles. So they can be protective styles if you're using them correctly. So for someone who's had a weave in for about 3 months, they've not been spraying their hair, their scalp is going to be really dry, it's going to have a lot of build up, it's going to really need a good cleanse and a good wash after 3 months of having your braids in, your hair is likely going to be starting to get matted because you've had your hair cornrowed and then you've had weft sewn in with cotton thread. Like, there's a lot of neglect that comes with weaves, and it's only going to be a protective style if you're using it to protect your hair and not neglect your hair. Let's protect, not neglect our hair. Are you wrapping your hair at night time? Are you going to bed with a satin or silk pillowcase? We have our own satin pillowcases that I will put a link to that in our description bar below. Are you using satin bonnets? Are you wrapping your hair with just a scarf? Like, are you every night, especially if you've got your hair out, your natural hair out, are you consistently wrapping your hair to make sure you're keeping moisture locked in? And I would definitely recommend a pillowcase over a bonnet or a silk scarf, because you're not having to remember an extra step to go to bed. Like, and it's so much sexier. Like, it's just pillowcases, they look a lot sexier than having to go to bed with your hair wrapped up. And if your hair is out at night time, are you braiding and making sure you're putting your hair in like those big doo-doo braids before you go to bed? Are you twisting your hair at night time, making sure you're adding moisture and then twisting or braiding your hair ready for bedtime? So these are things that you have to think about in your routine and structure your routine so that you're actually creating an opportunity to keep moisture locked into your hair. Understanding your hair is really important, because everyone's hair is different. Like, you can have two people who are brother and sister or sister and sister, and they have the same mom, same dad, and their hair texture can be completely different. So hair products that work for one person may not work for another person. So understanding what your hair needs is really important, because it's actually going to help you create a good routine for your hair. It's also important to understand your own hair type, because it's going to help you with understanding what products are going to be right for you in the layering of product processes. So for example, here I have our Sheeby Growth Cream, and I've got our daily leave-in lotion as well. So the difference between these two products is this is a water-based product. So anything that's like a cream, to be honest, if you read the ingredients, usually water's like one of the first ingredients in a water-based, like a spray or a cream. That will be a water-based product, whereas the Sheeby Growth Cream is an oil-based product because there's no water in there. These two products are going to be crucial for layering your products, because you're going to start with a water-based product and then you're going to follow up with an oil-based product. Water-based products are good for helping your hair strands to absorb moisture. Oil-based products are good for sealing in the moisture. So anything with an oil is going to seal moisture into the hair strand. It's going to act as a lubricant as well. So if you do have dry hair strands, the oil is going to help the hair strands to actually move and glide across each other instead of getting tangled up in between each other. So that's the difference between the oil-based and the cream or water-based product. Understanding when to apply products is really a great way for you to avoid dryness as well. So we have our shampoo and our conditioner. So by the way, guys, we have a Diddy version of our shampoo and conditioner now as well. So if you want to try it at 250 ml, that's available on the website, and we also have it at 500 ml on the website as well. But actually using deep conditioners and products like our intensive deep conditioner whilst you're in the shower, and applying leave-in conditioners whilst you're in the shower, detangling whilst you're in the shower, anything that creates tangling and knot and frizz, we want to avoid everything like that. Applying products in the shower is the best time to actually avoid the tangling process once you've come out. So for me, I like to section my hair. So I'll shampoo and condition my hair, and then what I will do after that is actually use, this is going to sound crazy, I actually use a few drops of my scalp oil. So I use a few drops of the scalp oil, especially if I've had braids in for a while, and I'll actually put that on my hair strands directly, and then I will follow up with a deep conditioner if it's time to do a deep condition, which again is what you want to be doing once every 2 weeks. Yeah, once every 2 weeks. And then sometimes I'll leave it wrapped up. I don't always leave it on for 30 minutes, I can't lie to you. I don't always have that kind of time. I've got a 2-year-old out here. But sometimes if it's not a deep conditioning session, what I will do is add the Sheeby Growth Cream and my leave-in condition and my daily leave-in lotion in the shower. So I start with a few pumps of my daily leave-in lotion. I'll put that in my hair. I then apply the Sheeby Growth Cream, and I'm going to take a detangling brush and brush from the ends. We never start from the roots. going to start from the ends of my hair and work my way up to the roots to detangle. The reason why you should detangle with the She Growth Cream in is because it's an oil-based product. It's going to avoid the tangling of your hair strands getting locked and interlocked between each other. And the oil is a lubricant, so it's going to allow the brush to glide through your hair strands and actually avoid breaking and snapping. So that's the reason why it's always great to add these two products whilst you're in the shower. So that's what I would suggest for the showering process. And again, you really want to make sure you're deep conditioning every 2 weeks at a minimum. So this product is amazing. First of all, it actually has baruchi oil. If you're unaware of baruchi oil, it's an oil that comes from South America, and it's what gives it this beautiful color first and foremost. But it's an oil that actually really helps to create a strong barrier. The products I would use when it comes to understanding how to create a loving routine, understanding what products are going to work for you, understanding what products are going to help you seal moisture into the hair strands, and understanding when to apply the products is crucial in your routine to keeping your hair from getting dry. And those are really important because they help you understand the practical application of the products and understanding how to apply them for your hair. I think it's better to start with a water-based and then follow up with an oil-based product. But for you and your hair, you might find it works better for you to start with an oil-based and then follow up with a water-based product. So understanding what your hair needs and what your hair wants. And if you've been straightening your hair consistently for 2 weeks and you're not taking the time to actually identify whether your hair is dry now after 2 weeks, and you're just ignoring it because you want a straightened hairstyle, that's going to be on you. Because really in that moment you should think and say, actually, you know what, I can see the damage that I'm doing to my hair and I'm ignoring it. I'm choosing to ignore the damage that I'm implementing on my hair, and I'm continuing to straighten and do those things that aren't going to keep my hair moist. Straighteners are going to cause damage because they are heat-based product processes that are direct heat onto your hair strands. So the heat is going to dry your hair strands out. So it's important to know and understand your own hair. Some people might find that there are some products that don't work for them when they go abroad. So for some people that have like a hair gel, for example, some ingredients in a hair gel that work here may not work abroad. The ingredients that actually control how much moisture is in your hair, so again, depending on your environment, it will either draw moisture to your hair or it will actually take moisture out of your hair, are called humectants. These usually come in the form of a glycol. So if you see anything with a glycol or a glycerine, like a GLC, usually these are humectants that can actually help bring moisture into the hair strand or draw moisture out of the hair strand. And again, your environment, the heat in your environment plays a huge factor in that. So sometimes if you've noticed you've used a hair gel, and usually this is your golden gel, this is the one that always works for you, so you take it on holiday with you and you realize, actually this hair gel has made my hair really frizzy whilst I've been on holiday, it's because of some of the ingredients in that hair gel has caused the hair to actually draw moisture out rather than retain it. L stands for love. We already know like how important our self-esteem is and self-love is, and how that's directly connected to our identity. Our hair is a huge part of our identity, and I feel the best way to avoid your hair from being dry is by loving your hair, by having a direct relationship with your hair instead of neglecting it and ignoring it. And being a woman of color or a man of color, this melanin comes with a lot of self-preservation. This melanin comes with a lot of recognition of self, like you have to be grounded in yourself. It comes with a lot of maintenance, and maintaining your hair is a huge part of avoiding it from being dry. If you look good, you feel good. You feel good when you look good. So that being said, maintaining your hair's moisture levels is really going to play a huge part in your self-esteem and your confidence. And building confidence in creating a great routine for your hair is going to help you avoid it from being dry as well. So a lot of these issues that we have with breakage and dryness and anything associated with our hair snapping and breaking, I think a lot of it actually originates from our mindset and what we believe about our hair. So if you believe your hair is always dry, you're not going to maintain it or create a routine that's loving to stop it from being dry. You're just going to leave it to be dry. So identifying, how am I limiting my hair's growth? How am I limiting my hair's potential to be its very best length and strength? Am I actually encouraging a loving routine? Am I actually encouraging moisture into my hair strands by deep conditioning on a regular basis? You should be deep conditioning your hair once every 2 weeks as a minimum. You have to make sure that moisture is being locked in, and if we neglect self-care in that way, we're also neglecting the potential for our hair to not be dry, because we're not thinking those things are important when actually they're really important. Patience and confidence. Confidence is really important because I feel like people are hesitant in creating a routine. They're hesitant in just doing a quick Google search to find out what an ingredient is. And those things that are stopping them are actually stopping them from creating a loving routine with their hair. I gotta be honest, I'm not the most patient person, and I think anyone with textured hair can kind of struggle with this. However, it's really important to have patience with your hair, because I've done classes, guys. If you don't know, we do a lot of cornrow and braiding workshops where we actually teach people to cornrow and how to braid. And there's been 50, 60-year-old women that I've taught, and I've noticed they don't even like know how to part their hair properly in a patient way. And I'm always thinking to myself, you gotta treat yourself with some love. Like, you don't have to drag a comb through your hair to part it. You can just do it a small amount at a time, just gently, be patient with your hair. That frustration that you've got with your hair and feeling I've got to do things quick and I've got to do this style quick, that I feel like it's a negative routine that we fall into, where we just want to quickly do our hair because we have an idea that it's going to take long because our hair is difficult. That is going to permeate into the rest of what you do, not only with your head, but just anything that you do in your life. And I always think about the children, like people who have generations that are coming after them and they've got to do their hair. You're going to be teaching that child to drag the comb through their hair, and that's going to cause hair loss and damage and breakage. It weighs heavy on my heart, because every time I do a cornrow and braiding workshop, I always identify the issues that we actually have that's deep rooted. It's not always just about I don't know how to do my own hair. A lot of it comes from I don't have confidence in myself. I don't have a lot of self-love. I feel like my hair's ugly, and those things are going to be things that we really need to shift. It's the mindset that we need to shift behind how we treat our hair and how we treat ourselves. E is for education, and you guys know I do not play when it comes to education. So I recently created an additional business to Ivy Wild. So Ivy Wild is our textured hair products. I've now launched a new business, which is Ivy Wild Academy. Ivy Wild Academy is hair education in the UK to the highest standard for textured hair. And I'm extremely excited about releasing this because there is a huge gap in textured hair education to a formal degree. And I felt we need to be educating people on a professional level. So the educational part, not only is it important to know how to cornrow, how to braid as basics, especially in the UK for every hair salon, so that everyone can feel welcome in any salon that they walk into, but it's also important that professionals and individual customers that I have also know more about their ingredients, what ingredients are harmful, what ingredients are toxic. There are a lot of customers that aren't aware of how some ingredients that are included in shampoos and conditioners, and completely oblivious to the link between cancer, the link between obesity, the link between thyroids, these horrible, nasty things that are actually coming from toxic ingredients in products. And this is why I shout for the way our cosmetic regulations are in the UK. Because I do know there's some things in the US, for example, that are FDA approved, yet are still really harmful and allowed to be sold in the US, putting a lot of people at harm. So for me, being a non-toxic hair company is so important. Being an advocate for hair health and hair education is extremely important, because without the education, everything else that we've spoken about for RUL is completely irrelevant. People need to want to learn more about their hair. They need to want to learn more how to create a loving routine, how to create and understand how to use these products and how to layer them. They need to really feel open to learning more about their identity and loving themselves, and how their identity has a direct impact on self-love and self-esteem, and how they have a routine for their hair. And I feel like this really is a very generic video, not only for dryness, but also for breakage. It can also be used for just creating a love for yourself and for your hair, and Layering the products, education behind understanding what makes your hair dry, so the environment and things like that is really crucial. Understanding how to cornrow and how to braid your hair is really important because these are protective styles. We host cornrow and braiding workshops in the UK, so we have some in London, Birmingham, Manchester. Occasionally we pop to Coventry as well. Learning how to maintain your hair and not have to rely on others to be able to do that puts you at a benefit, because number one, you're saving huge amounts of costs, and secondly, you're also encouraging that loving relationship that we spoke about with you and your hair. Understanding porosity and what your porosity is really important. Low porosity hair is hair strands that aren't able to actually have any moisture get into the hair strand, whereas high porosity hair is when your hair is unable to absorb or retain moisture into the hair strand because your cuticles are open and raised. Low porosity, your hair strands are closed. So the difference between the two is really important. You can have, again, different porosity types on one head of hair. So you might find the back loves moisture and it sucks moisture up, but the front you might have a bit of an issue with. If you'd like to find more about your moisture levels, then I will add a link up above to our porosity video. I really want to find out what issues have you got specifically with your hair strands. Please leave a comment down below. How can I help you? Are you having issues with your own routine? Are you having issues with your children's routine? Comment below. Follow me on Instagram if you do want to get some direct information on how you can create a great routine for yourself or for your children. I'll be happy to help, and send me a DM. And that's it for this video. Please hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video today. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.